Hey guys, how you doing today? It's Wednesday, still afternoon time. Been trying to figure out, I have this tray. As you can see, it has all these, dips and divots in it. And I've been trying to figure out how I want to play it off, with the centerpiece. I think I have some ideas. So the first thing I'm going to do, my main decoupage piece, I got a piece of paper on there. This has been painted. I did the kills and I did the white. I want to put this, it's Letters to Paris. I want to put this in the middle. I found this online, which I think will go really well because there's just the two sides that aren't quite going to be covered. And it's going to be, I'm going to have to go around, be careful when I glue, because I will have to cut some of these, the paper around all these edges. So I want to make sure I center it right when I put the top piece down. The bottom piece, first thing I want to do is cut all the white off from printing it out. And I'm going to need, I want to get a rough idea here how thick it has to be. It really doesn't have to be too thick. I do want a little to go under. So I always go a little past so that it goes under and I know I end up with a nice seal. And I believe half of each sheet should be enough. Well, let's see. It's a decent amount of area. I may have to use 2 cuts. That would put it under. Yeah, I think I'm going to do 2 cuts and play it safe. I'd rather be cutting some off than not have enough and possibly have to glue another piece down. I have my Mod Podge. This is the gloss. You can get a lot of different colors. I mean, you can get a satin. They have pearl, they have sparkle, they have all kinds of stuff. But for decoupage, you just want the Mod Podge. Okay. Now, some of this I know I can cut off now. I want to just kind of figure out all these. And I love this tray. It's just going to be a little bit of work. Cut some of these ends down. Yeah, because I have to follow around each edge. And then I'm going to have to follow around again, like with an X-Acto knife. And there's another option. I don't know if I used it or not, but I could do some dry brushing with the color, very close. And, match the outside and dry brush onto the paper a little bit if I need to. All right, there we go. So let's get him in here. I want to make sure I get him in each of these little cracks and crevices, because that's where I want it to stick. I don't think I got quite enough right up here, so let me fix that. There we go. Okay. But as I push down and yeah, make sure it's on those lines. When everything is dry, I don't do it when it's not dry. It'll come up because of it being wet. But once it's dry, I'll be able to just kind of pull it up some and take an X-Acto knife and go right around it. All right, now let's get this side. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go where all these bumps and creases are and make sure I get my Mod Podge in them. Trying not to go over them too far, you know, on the edge. I mean, it is handmade. If a little bit goes over, I'm okay with that. But I do try to get it as best as I can. It's a challenge I enjoy. Get the paper to go down in there. And I should have cut these pieces off. There we go. That way they're not sticking up and getting in my way. I want to make sure I got both ends good. Looks like I did. Might want just a little bit more right there. Okay, let's check up here. Make sure that's good. Might need a little bit more. There we go. Just to make sure. Make sure I got under it well. I'm just going to do the end, put it down, do the same thing over here. Just kind of, yeah, go under and make sure everything's sticking. And then I'll go across it just to make sure. All right, so here's where we're at. We got the two ends. I know it's hard to see, the paper is so close, but it is sticking to those edges. And that's what I wanted. It's a little different. I've never done one with these kind of edges. And it's so hard to not get that little corner that you don't want to hit. So now I'm going to do my main piece, and again I'm going to start up here and I'm going to get these edges. Because that's the important part, so that it goes down in there. I'm hoping, you know, I can run the rhinestones around the outside maybe. We'll have to see. I don't know how it'll be with all of these. I may have to find another way to do that decoration around it. We'll see. Okay. Now I want to make sure she stays on, so I'm going to go up a little higher so that she's in the bottom here. And then I'm going to push it around all these edges so they get stuck around. There we go. And both ends have, yeah, some beautiful designs. This is from Digital Deco Art. If you haven't checked out her stuff, you should definitely check it out. She has some beautiful papers. She offers a lot of different sizes, and she offers combinations. You know, what goes good with what, which is really nice. Now this is just going to go flat, Use your hands and get as many wrinkles as you can out. Okay, let's go on to the bottom. Again, I always pick up just a little bit of where I've just laid down, just to make sure it's fresh, it's sticky. Okay, now I want to, same on the top, I got to get these edges again. I need a little bit more. So that it sticks on there. All right. There we go. I'm going to run glue up the side. I'm not doing it here yet because I still have cutting. But where I know it's not going to be cut, where it's set in place, I am going to run a coat of glue, start going around those edges, because once that glue dries, I'll be able to pull it up like this. I'll be able to use the X-Acto knife and just follow right around. I will do a little trimming before I get the X-Acto knife out. But let's get this coat of glue on here. And we'll get that going. Now, if you wanted a matte finish, you would get a matte or a satin glue. I like the glossy finish. I put bling on most of my stuff. Not always a lot, but I still like that glossy finish, that shine. But you gotta do what you like. So if you want a satin finish, get a satin finish. Or, yeah, the matte finish, basically the same thing. What I do, I will do 2 coats of the Mod Podge on here, and then I will use a coat of the Minwax polyacrylic. It's the blue can. It's a water-based polyacrylic. It's food safe. So if you use that and do a couple of top coats, then it is food safe. And that way, yeah, you can put some cookies and some pretty napkins or whatever. You know, on here that you would want. So those will be my last coats over the Mod Podge. That way my Mod Podge is sealed. Mod Podge has a dishwasher safe glue, but it does not say that it is food safe. It just says dishwasher safe. I've never tried it. I know there are people who have used it. I've never used it or tried. I actually don't have a dishwasher. I had 4. Last one moved out 14 years ago. So I am the only dishwasher left. Okay, so there's our first coat of glue. Now you can see where these edges are, and that's what we're going to trim off once that glue dries some. I got a little bit of a streak there. I don't want a streak. So I'm going to go back over it and smooth it out some. So, but that's your first steps with the Mod Podge. Now while it's drying, I'm going to clip some of these down so that I'm not working with as much paper. Depending on, you know, how much you cut off or what you cut off. Yeah, sometimes I keep them like, here's, you know, a rose I could put somewhere. Could kind of use him as a fill-in maybe somewhere. So it depends on the size and it depends on what it is. But sometimes, yeah, there are pieces that I will use as a fill-in somewhere, so I hang on to some of the pieces. The bigger pieces like this, I will definitely hang on to. I'll use it somewhere. It'll match with something I'm working on somewhere down the line. All right, that just kind of trims it up a little bit. And it's starting to dry. Oh, I think I got glue right here. Let's get that lifted some before it's too late. Now right here did not stick, so I'm gonna have to glue it right under here again. I'm not sure why. I thought I glued that pretty good, but apparently I didn't. Maybe didn't get enough glue in there. And it may also have a little bit to do with the fact there's so many twists and turns that you're trying to put the paper in. That's not making it the easiest. Okay. That's that one right there, did the same thing. It did not stick. I'm sure of it has to do with, yeah, you're pushing it in, then it's coming up for the next area. But these back areas seem to be not sticking as well as I'd hope they would. So I'm gonna put some more glue in there and see if I can get that to work better. What I'm gonna do actually is cut that so there's nothing holding it up. See if that helps. This one did the same thing. See, it's going up over this lump, so I'm going to cut it so that it can go down and stick. There we go. That's working better. Now it's sticking. That side stuck. And this one didn't either. Get a little glue in there. Let's snip that area so it's not pulling it up, and that's what it's doing because it's going over this bump. It's pulling the paper up out of where I want it to stick. So again, I'm going to put a little snip there. It's above and in the area where I'm going to be cutting off. But it's letting that piece of paper go down in that hollow that I want. But everywhere that hollow is, that's what it did. So, you know, keep that in mind. You may have to go back in and glue some of those. I mean, it's natural for the paper to stick up because it's going over. I'll show you in a second. See, it goes in here, but then you've got the bump. So it's pulling the paper up. It's not allowing it to stick down in there. The snips are allowing it to go down in and stick where I want it. I should have done that first, but I didn't realize that it wouldn't stick so well. Yeah, but when you see it starting to dry, you can see it not making that connection. Right here. So what I'm doing is snipping up at the top where that little bump is, so that it stays down in there. There we go. Let's see how this one's doing. That one's sticking, that one's sticking. That one still isn't sticking. We're going to have to snip that paper. There we go. See, as soon as you snip it, it goes right down and stays in place. So now we know the trick to get it to stick. That's what we want. That's what you want to do. Just do a little snip. There. Now it is sticking where we want it to stick. I have this little X-Acto knife I use. I think I bought it on Amazon. It comes with a couple different blades. This is the only blade I've used so far. I have not tried any of the other ones. But this is what I use. And I just go around, you know, I kind of lift up and I follow those circles and indents, and it is actually still maybe a little too wet with having to fix those spots. You can also use this, like if you get a piece, that little piece, just kind of stuck somewhere there. Let's see where we have some dry. You don't want to do it too hard, because remember, you do have, you know, the paint over here. You want to just kind of lift and pull. Now if it starts, and I can see how it's like feathering it. It's not dry enough there to use this yet. And actually there are quite a few spots on here that aren't quite that dry yet. You know, with having to go back around. So I think I'm going to let that one dry for a little bit. And this guy, I haven't put anything in him yet. How about, let's see. Let me see if I have something fun we can put in there real quick. It's got to be small though, so let's... You know what? How about if we do some black stripes on here, coming down the sides, and then maybe what I'll do is put a transfer in the bottom here, something that's, you know, a little smaller. Pop open my black. Where's my good brush for edges? Oh, I think I left a brush out last night. That's not good, is it? Alright, what is this one? No, that one's no good either. Alright, we're gonna use him. I mean, I have lines that I can follow. So I'll just go up each line. Actually, you know what? Let's just go right across it. You know, right up the other side. So let me get a little tape. I'm not going to tape the whole thing, but just where I want the line to go so that I get a straight line going across. Let's do that. I just really need it for this part. I have the lines for the top, but for this hole going in here, let's just put a little tape down. And then I know my line is at least straight. I am not very good at straight lines, I gotta tell you. Nope. Not good at all with straight lines, and I'm not happy with this brush at all either. I want a flat surf. There we go. That's better. Pull that off. Do up top here. I'm using Junk Monkey paint. This is called Black Velvet. It is a mineral paint. You can blend different colors. They have a couple different kinds of waxes. They have a polyacrylic seal. They have a couple of the glazes that you can use. Okay. So let's see how we want to do this one. Okay, guys, this is going to be interesting. So where do I take this one to? Do I just take it to the middle? Do something different? Because these are the two ends. And then there's the one big piece in the middle here. I guess we just take it down to that. I don't know where else to take it. There really isn't anywhere else to take it. I don't know about that. Looks like a pair of overalls, doesn't it? Yeah, I know that was bad. But that's what, or not overalls, suspenders. That's what I see, suspenders. But when I had this brilliant idea, I didn't think about the fact that these two would not be able to go straight across to each other. So that really is not what I had in mind. Yeah, I think this is just going to get painted solid black because that just looks silly. Don't you think? Yeah, she's just going to get painted black. And then we'll put something on it. Everything does not need to be white. So we're going to go with black and maybe some sunflowers or something. But this just is not going to work. At all. My black is starting to thicken up. I need to add some water to it. So much for ideas, right? Sometimes we have to adapt and do something completely different than what we were thinking. That's all right. You can do a lot with black. I mean, I could put pink roses. I could do the yellow sunflowers. That'll all stand out. I could do something with golds. That too will stand out. So I'm gonna get this first coat down because it'll have to dry. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, the best laid plans, huh? I got a trip over here. There we go. Let's just let that dry. And then we'll go figure that out later. I gotta add some water in with that. All right, let me see if we are dry enough now to start cutting some of this off of here. Well, it feels like it. That little piece, the glue went up a little high on. I'll pull this off and I'll work that off a little later just using this knife. There it comes. If you scrape any of the white off, you just go back with your paint or whatever color you're using. I mean, that'll be an easy fix. It's not going to come off perfect, and I know that. But when we, put the stuff around the edges, it'll help blend it all together nicely. This is a little harder than doing a plain round one like I did the other day. There's a lot more curves here to deal with. But I wanted to try it. It's such a pretty plate. And I thought having the rhinestones, going in and out around it would be pretty. Okay, it's starting to come off. There are a few spots where it lifted anyway. I mean, the good thing is I saved that paper, and I can use those to fill in those little spots if I need to. But it's so much easier to pull it apart once the glue is dry. You can get to it easier. I have the water pen. I don't know if you can use that, once you've glued a piece down. I have to talk to some other crafters, or if you know, let me know so I know for next time. I didn't know if getting the paper, wet to undo it would cause an issue. So I thought my best bet was just to do this. Gotta watch that thing starts to turn and the blade gets loose. Well, the kids are officially out of school here. So next week I should start having 2 of my grandsons. I have them most of the summer during the day. We go to the pool and the park, whatever. So I am looking forward to having them. We always have such fun. I love making those memories with them. Some of the other grandkids I get off and on at different times. These 2 I've been babysitting for years. So, starting next Monday, I have a 13-year-old and an 18-year-old running, and an 8-year-old, not 18, 13 and 18 every day. This is still a little bit wet right there, but it is cutting fairly nice. That's getting there. There's still a few pieces where it kind of stuck, and I'll get to that. Right now, I would like to just get, yeah, this first big cut done. Now that one came up, so I'm actually going to, I'm going to cut right there, and I'm going to pull that little piece that didn't stay in that corner and try and get him back in there. How did he go? This way? Yep. Let's just dab a little glue there. See if we can't get him back in there. There we go. I'm going to have to wait a little bit for that one to dry. And give it a chance. So most of you know, I have, whoops, I have a shepherd. I've had him, I'll have him 5 years this fall. He'll actually be turning 5 August 1st. That's one of the things the kids and I do every day while they're here. We go out for a walk. We have a huge nursery out back. Got some trails. Yeah, lots of trees. There's a big cornfield behind it. We see a lot of squirrels. We see a lot of bunnies. We have a bobcat living back there. She's got 2 babies right now. We have a couple of the red and black foxes back there. Last year or the year before, they had 2 kits. I don't know if they have had any this year or not. Unless somebody actually sees it, yeah, we don't know. I mean, we've seen the bobcat, but somebody actually saw the bobcat's 2 babies about 3 weeks ago, I guess. So we are now walking in pairs. We're sure she's going to be quite protective, even though they don't come out in the daytime. In most circumstances. So we now, walk together with a couple of dogs just to be a little more safer, Okay. Yeah, I definitely have some work to do here, but it's a start. I mean, it started to go down in where I want. There's a spot I'll have to fill in. Some of them, even with pushing it down as hard as I could, it still came up on me. That one I'm going to leave sit for a little bit. I'm actually going to put another coat around these edges. I'm going to let it dry a little more. And then, these pieces that popped up, I need to pop in place. And some of them is just a matter of getting it to go down all the way. So it's a good start. There's a little piece that's stuck to the tray. I'm just going to pull him up. that seal there. Now this one, let's see, what can we put there? I want to do some of the red. I don't need a big piece. But I want to try and at least get something back up in here some. So let's get some more glue there. Let's put him down in there. And then I'll trim it up. There we go. Now I've got to do a little bit right there. Find a piece that matches. Okay, here we go. Let's make them smaller. Down there in place. Okay, that one's not too bad. This one, I don't know, it's kind of lumpy. I think I'm gonna pull that off of there. And I'm gonna put a new piece there. I just don't like the way it looks. Let's pull these apart. Another piece down in there. There we go. Alright. Now I really gotta let those dry so I can do a little more trimming up. Because I don't want to pull, with it just being a piece, I don't want to pull it up when I trim it. So I want to make sure it's really dry. So I'll show you, I mean, here's where we're at so far. I need to trim this one up. This and this I'll need to trim up. This one I need to just glue down a little bit over here to get off. But we are getting there. Let's just get him glued down better so it doesn't come up. There we go. Alright, so I am gonna leave that as part one. I need to let it dry and then I can work on cleaning those little last few places up. Do another coat of white. I'm going to kind of blend it down in here some, and then we'll get to decorating. So I will see you guys a little later. Thanks. Bye.